To replace the barrel kit, we will need two metal pins 4x20 and M3x50 screw. These we can find in the accessories, which contain the package with your rifle. Next, we need a 5mm Allen key. It is good to have a hook or just a tweezers to make it easier to remove the O-ring from the body of the rifle. And according to what works better for us, it will be a hammer, pliers, or a rubber mallet. Further, there is a possibility to remove the barrel kit with a barrel removal tools that we offer as an accessory. This tool makes it even easier, and you can use it even for tightening the barrel kit back to the rifle. First, we take the metal pins 4x20. We put it in the hole of the barrel kit. And either with pliers or a rubber mallet, with tapping we loosen the barrel. We pay attention not to hit the body. It is good to lean on something so that we do not damage the body. As soon as we have the barrel kit released, we can unscrew it by hands. Please remember, safety first. It is important to always check that we have the rifle discharged and completely without air, so we will avoid any accidental shot. So the barrel kit is removed. If we only change the length of the barrel, it is enough to take a new barrel kit and screw it into the main block and tighten it all the way until the barrel kit touches the body. If we want to change the caliber, we put the barrel kit aside, cock the rifle, and secure it. At the moment, it is good to have the rifle without air and the air released so that it does not reach the unwanted shot. We take a 5mm Allen key and loosen the screw on the top of the body and unscrew it all the way out. It is a screw M10X16 with a pin. It has such a fitting at the end. We can push the transfer port with our hand and remove it with a hook or some tweezers. With this tool, we can remove the transfer port. Under the transfer port, there is still an O-ring on the edge. It is a 14x1.5 NBR90 O-ring. Next, we take the M3x50 screw. There is a big hole in the body through which we will see two pins that are in the pellet pusher. They help us to cock rifle and move with the hammer. First, we take out the larger pin that move with the hammer. It is a black pin that is in the front of the pellet pusher. We take the M3x50 screw and remove the pin. Next, we take out the pin that connects the side lever linkage and the pellet pusher. Again, we move the pellet probe forward a little and find the pin. We screw the screw into the pin and pull the pin out of the probe. At this moment, we can slowly move the probe forward and remove it from the rifle. This is how we remove the pellet probe and transfer port. If we want to change the caliber also, we take a new barrel kit. A part of the barrel kit is a pellet probe and transfer port with an O-ring for the new caliber. Let's see how to reinstall the barrel kit. Let's start with the probe. The probe has a recess around one of the hole, and there is also a larger hole behind it. So where we have larger holes, they go in up direction. From the bottom, where there is one small hole and one larger hole, it goes down. We insert the probe from the front. We align the probe so that both larger holes point upwards. In the space where we have a hole in the main body, we find the first of the aforementioned holes. It's the smaller hole. We push the probe for the first hole. We align the probe with the hole in the side lever linkage. Before that, we prepare a pin with a thread and a screw. We attach the pin with a thread and a screw. We align the holes opposite each other and push the pin into the probe. At this moment, the probe is connected to the side lever linkage. We can loosen the screw and remove it. The side lever linkage should move freely like this. If the lever does not go forward or backward, it means that the pin is still too far out and we have to tighten it with a screw. If we can't tighten it by hand, we can use a hammer to push the pin as low as possible. At this moment, we pull the pellet probe back a little bit. A larger hole appears on the probe and we insert the second pin into it. We tighten the screw again. There is an O-ring 3x1 NBR70 on the pin. We will check if the O-ring is not damaged. If the O-ring is in good condition, we can insert the pin into the probe. Despite the O-ring, we have to tighten the screw a bit more, and the pin will jump down. Again, the pin has to move freely forward and backward. At this moment, we leave the pin in the back position. We take the transfer port. The O-ring is 14x1.5 NBR90. We put it on the transfer port. If the O-ring falls and does not stick to the transfer port, we can smear the O-ring with Vaseline. The Vaseline will help the O-ring to stick to the transfer port. We place the transfer port into the body. We direct the plate on the transfer port upwards and the hole in the transfer port downwards. We place the transfer port in the front. We push it completely in. We check if the plate sits upwards. If the transfer port is slightly turned, we can take it out again, straighten it, put it back, or straighten it with a tweezer and align it. We check that it is sufficiently pushed into the back position. We secure it with an Allen screw M10X16. At this moment, we only slightly tighten the screw. We do not tighten it with force. We only slightly tighten it so that the transfer port is aligned. We loosen it a little, about a quarter of a turn. If we loosen it a lot, it will affect us that while we will be tightening the barrel, we can turn with the transfer port. In this case, there will not be a hole in a right position and we will have a bad airflow and energy drop can appear. So we tighten it with force and then loosen it a little so that the transfer port is a little loose and barrel can push it to the maximum. We take a barrel kit, screw it into the body. Sometimes it's good to lubricate the thread in the barrel kit a little bit so it will be smoother to screw it in. The barrel kit should screwing freely all the time. It should not shake anywhere. It should not creak anywhere. If something like this happens, we take the barrel kit out. We check if there is any dirt in the thread and we can screw the barrel kit back on. If the barrel kit is tight enough to the body, we take the metal pins from the accessory bag. or the special barrel removal tools, and we tighten the barrel kit enough to the body of the rifle. We tighten until we feel that the barrel kit has completely touched the body of the rifle and is completely tightened. At this moment, we can fully tighten the screw that is fixing transfer port. We don't have to use a lot of force, just so that it pushes us in and stops the transfer port. At this moment, we try to cock it so that it doesn't rub anywhere and it moves freely. We put the lever in the back position, hold it there, and uncock the rifle with the trigger mechanism. This is how we replace barrel kit or change the caliber. In the next video, we will show how to do that with our new model Epic one.